Hey everyone, welcome to Area 616. It's gotten to the point now where there are more Marvel movies and TV shows in development than there are bones in the human skeleton. Okay, that's not accurate, but you get my point. Marvel's got at least 12 movies in the work and around 10 series. Sony's got maybe a dozen in the works as well, and even Fox still has a handful on the way. It can get really confusing trying to keep up with what's coming, when, and where, which is why I like to make a video every year to talk about every movie and TV show based on Marvel characters set for the next year. This time, it's 2019. Be it Marvel Studios, Sony, or Fox, I'll list it here, and this time I'm even adding an extra section for video games, being as how production on those is beginning to really ramp up. So this is the ultimate one-stop place if you want to know what to look forward to from Marvel in 2019. I've listed it all here. I'll even be going over some of the big developments we can expect from Marvel in 2019. Obviously, the biggest one is the Disney-Fox deal, which is set to officially close sometime next month in January, making the Fantastic Four and the X-Men's MCU arrival a matter of time. But I've got a lot of ground to cover, so let's get started. There's only one game that's been confirmed for 2019 so far, but there's another one that's also likely. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3: The Black Order is a Nintendo Switch exclusive which is set to drop sometime next year, probably in the mid to late range. It's the third game in the beloved Ultimate Alliance franchise, and has a huge cast of playable characters, including the Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, Nick Fury, Spider-Man, and Wolverine. Players will be able to assemble their own team of heroes to go up against Thanos and his Black Order, along with various other supervillains like the Kingpin, Sandman, Green Goblin, the Hand, Ultron, the Sentinels, Ronan the Accuser, Nebula, and many more. Very cool. I'm definitely looking forward to this, even if it does look a bit different in some ways. The other game is a bit more exciting though. It's Square Enix's Untitled Avengers project. It's been described as being very ambitious, which is why we haven't seen anything from it yet. We were supposed to get some more news before the end of 2018, but obviously we didn't. I think this will likely hit next fall. It's been in development for about 2 years now. We don't know anything about the plot, characters, or gameplay, but we should learn more very soon. Rumors have said it's a loose adaptation of Avengers Disassembled, with Iron Man, Cap, and Scarlet Witch serving as the leads, and that it's set in the same universe as Spider-Man PS4. Speaking of which, I wouldn't be surprised if they officially announced the sequel to that game next year, although that probably wouldn't arrive until 2021 at the earliest. The first movie of 2019 is Captain Marvel on March 8th. This will see Carol Danvers, a Kree warrior, coming to Earth on a mission to stop the Skrulls from invading, but learning dark secrets about her past on Earth and her Kree allies. There's a lot of hype around this. It's Marvel's first female-led movie, and some footage descriptions from the Brazil Comic-Con sound very, very awesome. Carol will undoubtedly go on to become a huge part of the MCU, and this film is said to have a lot of secrets in it. There are rumors that it's going to set up an overarching secret invasion storyline for Phase 4. Next, on April 26th is, only the most anticipated movie of all time, Avengers Forever. That's definitely the title. We know pretty much nothing about this movie other than it'll feature the Avengers, assumedly trying to reverse what Thanos has done, and it may or may not feature time travel and/or alternate dimensions, or both. Either way, it's been said it'll be unspeakably epic. The Russos had teased that the current edit is about 3 hours long. The finale of the film has been described as bombastic and extremely satisfying, and it's been teased that the stakes of this movie will be off the charts. Considering this is the end of contracts for Iron Man, Thor, and Captain America, it's possible, if not likely, that one or all of them will see their end in the movie. Next is Dark Phoenix on June 7th, one of the last sputtering breaths of the X-Men franchise. This is the last true X-Men franchise movie other than the New Mutants, X-Force, and Deadpool movies, which are still moving forward as far as we know. Dark Phoenix will see Jean Grey become, well, Dark Phoenix. Based on the trailer, it seems to more or less have the same exact plot as The Last Stand, only more boring looking. So I'm not exactly hyped for this movie personally, but the X-Men franchise was really the one that started it all. Without it, the MCU would have never come to be. So this is really a huge milestone for superhero cinema, the end of a franchise that ran for almost exactly 20 years. Next up is Spider-Man Far From Home on July 5th. This will see Peter going on a school vacation to Europe, trying to take a break from being Spider-Man, only for Nick Fury to show up and recruit him to go up against the Elementals, mysterious new villains tearing Europe apart. He'll be paired up with another S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, Mysterio, who also may or may not end up being the real villain of the movie. This will be the first movie of Phase 4, and while we don't technically know whether it's set after Endgame or not, come on, it totally is. This is the last film on Sony and Marvel's contract together, although Amy Pascal has said they'd like to continue their partnership with Marvel, so I don't think we have much to worry about. An interesting development, though, is reports coming in that Apple is very likely to buy Sony in 2019. When Marvel sold Spidey's rights to Sony, they included a clause that said Spider-Man couldn't be sold to another company, or his rights would revert back to Marvel Studios. So if this Apple buyout does actually happen, that means all of Spidey's rights will revert back to Disney. So it turns out they might not even have to renew their contract at all. The last movie of 2019 is The New Mutants on August 2nd. This movie has been pushed back 3 times now, and is supposedly currently going through reshoots. Reports came out recently saying that it had been shelved by Fox, but this turned out to be untrue. According to those working on it, the reshoots are to make it more like the movie they originally set out to make. Rumors say that the success of it gave Fox the confidence to push forward towards more traditional horror. The film will see the New Mutants being held in a top-secret government facility that will serve as a sort of haunted mansion that they must escape from. It was recently said that this could end up being R-rated. I still think this might end up being cancelled. Fox has just been so weirdly quiet about it, but we'll see what happens. The same thing happened with Dark Phoenix, and it's still kicking. It will, however, be the last X-Men movie filmed before the Disney-Fox deal was completed. Some big Marvel movie news we can expect for 2019, the San Diego Comic-Con. I'm predicting this will be a big year for Marvel there. I think this is where they'll announce their Phase 4 lineup and potentially tease their plans for the Fantastic Four and X-Men. Kevin Feige recently revealed that movies for them would begin development as soon as next fall. This is also likely where they'll fully flesh out their Disney Plus plans, and possibly Shang-Chi. Morbius will start filming around February, unless that's cancelled, which is possible at this point. This is really going to be a big year for Marvel fans, where we get our first peek at what the future of the MCU looks like post-Avengers. 2019 is the end of an era for Marvel Studios, but the beginning of a new one. Marvel's got quite a few TV shows set for 2019, but going into it, it's also one of the more mysterious years. There are a lot of questions about just which shows will get what release dates for any Marvel TV shows. But I'm going to go through the confirmed series in my assumed order of release, take a stab at the dates, and then I'll go over some of the rumors about what Marvel TV has in store for 2019. First up is The Punisher Season 2, which is set for a January 2019 release, although we don't yet have an actual date. I made a video not too long ago going over all of the story details and characters we know about this season, so I'd recommend checking that out if you want a super in-depth breakdown of it. The season will see Frank returning to New York after a soul-searching road trip to protect teenage runaway Amy Bendix, who has gotten into some kind of trouble with a dangerous religious man named John Pilgrim. On top of that, an unhinged Billy Russo will return to wreak havoc on Frank's life. Not to mention the mysterious Schultzes, a wealthy and dangerous couple who will no doubt go up against Frank as well. A lot of specifics about the story are shrouded in mystery, but we do know one thing for sure. The season will be a return to form for Frank, telling a much more street-level, classic Punisher tale than the first one did for many. My current prediction for the release date is January 11th, just because it's mostly a blank day for Netflix originals. Next up for Marvel TV is Cloak and Dagger Season 2 in spring 2019. This season will see Detective Bridget O'Reilly become Mayhem, a violent vigilante. She'll be the main antagonist of the duo this season, along with some lingering plot threads from Season 1's voodoo magic plotline. We don't know anything about this story beyond those two things. Season 2 began filming in October. Applying that to Season 1's filming schedule, it should wrap around mid to late March. With that in mind, I'm going to put Season 2's premiere date as March 14th, 2019. More of a hunch than anything, though. Next is the final installment of the Marvel Netflix lineup, Jessica Jones Season 3, which wrapped filming on December 18th, after an unusually long 9-month shooting period. My guess is that once they heard that this would likely be the last season, they might have reworked the ending to be more of a satisfying end for the series. We know absolutely nothing about this season. No cast announcements, no story details. We don't even know how many episodes are in it, although assumedly it will be the usual 13. All we can do is gather some hunches from what few set photos we've seen. Most of the OG cast is returning: Jessica, Trish, Malcolm, Hogarth, Oscar, etc., etc. Season 2's end saw Trish's Hellcat powers developing, and a set photo has come out showing her doing some flips, so it's very likely Season 3 will see Hellcat introduced. Some rumors have said she could even be the main villain. Other rumors that come from that hashtag show have come out saying that the main villain this season is going to be the Power Broker, and that this will see Jessica Jones going up against super-powered wrestlers, like D-Man and the Femizons. Power Broker specializes in giving people powers, so this makes a lot of sense. He has connections to Carl Malice, so I imagine this will be connected to IGH in some way. But that's basically it. We know that Kristen Ritter is directing an episode this season. Rumors say it'll be the second one. Mike Coulter responded to an Instagram comment teasing he might make a cameo as Luke Cage. I think that's likely. I could see the writers putting something for him in after the series was cancelled. Honestly, what I'd love to see is all of the Defenders reuniting for a sit-down at the Royal Dragon, just catching up. It'd be nice to see these characters one last time. Based on previous patterns, the premiere date for this will likely be at some point over the summer, either in May or June. I'd say anywhere from May 31st to June 14th. Next up is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 6, which has been bumped from 22 episodes to a much slicker 13. The season is shrouded in mystery. We only have gotten 2 official photos, Quake's new look and a picture of Mac, who's the new director of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's been confirmed that S.H.I.E.L.D. is now official once again, backing up rumors that they'll make their comeback in Avengers Endgame. This season was likely delayed to the summer due to Endgame's release. We have no plot details or anything, other than Coulson is still dead as far as we know. I hope they don't force him back or anything. It'd be cheap to fake out Coulson's death twice. And this cast is absolutely strong enough to carry on without him. That said, Clark Gregg is returning to direct the first episode of Season 6, titled Missing Pieces. We actually have an exact month here, July. Elizabeth Henstridge, who plays Simmons, let that slip a while back. I imagine it'll come out right after Far From Home, which is all but confirmed to feature S.H.I.E.L.D. heavily. So I'm going to put it on July 12th, 2019. Next is Legion Season 3. Production on Season 3 of Legion has been delayed due to Fargo Season 4, another Noah Hawley created series on FX. That is set to start filming in 2019, most likely next month, and is set for release later the same year. The fact that we don't know when Fargo will start filming or even have a general time frame for its release makes it difficult to make predictions for Legion. However, they have confirmed Legion is expected to air again in 2019 as well. I'm going to guess Legion will begin production again over the summer, so it'll probably hit later in the fall. I'm going to put it on November 5th, 2019. But that's just a guess. There's no real basis to it. Again, no story details, but we do know it'll feature David going down a dark path with Linny by his side. Meanwhile, Amal Farouk has turned into an unlikely ally, working alongside Sid and the others to stop David from going completely evil. I honestly believe this could end up being the final season, just because it feels like the logical conclusion of the series from where they started. Now this is where we get into the speculation zone. There are a couple of other titles Marvel's working on which have 2019 on them with a little asterisk, and that asterisk has a question mark by it. First of all, there are potential renewals. It's very likely that Runaways and The Gifted will get renewed, and put out new seasons before 2019's over, but that hasn't been confirmed yet. But then there's New Warriors, Loki, Vision, and Scarlet Witch, and a couple of untitled Marvel series. New Warriors has been in development limbo for 2 years now, after Marvel pulled it from Freeform. However, the cast has remained active over the last couple of years, and it actually seems like they've been filming something. A pilot does exist. Squirrel Girl writer Ryan North saw bits of it and said that they very much nailed Squirrel Girl. The current rumor is that once the Disney Fox deal is finished, New Warriors might go on either Hulu, Disney Plus, or perhaps FX. If this happens, I think it'll end up coming out around September 2019. However, if it's around May 2019 and we still haven't heard anything, I think it's safe to say that the series has been scrapped. Loki and Vision and the Scarlet Witch are both Disney Plus miniseries in development, and both have been marked for a 2019 release. There has been no casting news and no filming dates, but it's still possible for them to make this with their 6 to 8 episode count. I imagine Loki will come first. I think it'll be on the service when it first hits, so I'm going to say that'll be either September or October 2019. As for Vision and the Scarlet Witch, I think that'll hit in December 2019, just making it for the year. It's possible they might both come out at the same time, but unlikely. As for the untitled Marvel shows, there are 2 that have been brought up. The first one was announced for Disney Plus way back when the series was first announced. However, it's very much possible that that was just the Loki series. We haven't gotten a confirmation on whether or not they were separate, but considering Marvel TV isn't involved in Loki, I'd say they probably were. The second untitled series is an ABC show being developed by Wonder Woman scribe Alan Heinberg. He's developing an all-female Marvel series with an ensemble cast. The rumor is that it's a Lady Liberators and/or Fearless Defenders reimagining, and that it might feature characters like She-Hulk, Thundra, and Tigra. Another rumor is that it could be Daughters of the Dragon, though I don't know if that'd be possible. I think it's more likely that this will hit in early 2020, but it is still possible it could come out in late 2019, which is why I mentioned it. That's it for the TV releases in 2019, but I think there are some pretty big announcements coming our way. With the Disney Fox deal closing out, Disney Plus rising, and rumors of Spider-Man's rights coming back to Marvel fully, I imagine we'll start to see a slew of new series announced. Obviously, more Disney Plus shows will be announced. We'll get more info on the rumored Winter Soldier and Falcon, Rocket and Groot, Nick Fury and Hawkeye projects, as well as likely some new ones. I'm personally hoping for Valkyrie. I think if we're going to get a Ghost Rider series, it will be announced this coming year. I've said in the past that I believe Marvel has waited this long in order to get the rights to Mephisto back from Fox. I think it's likely he'll end up on either Hulu or FX. Considering Gabriel Luna starring in a new Terminator movie next November, we could get a confirmation around then to tie into that hype. And if Spider-Man really does come back to Marvel, I imagine we could start to see some TV shows centered on Spidey characters. I'd personally like to see a Spider-Woman series on Disney+. I'd also love to see a Daily Bugle / The Pulse series. I think that would be a lot of fun. Rumors say that Marvel TV may merge with Marvel Studios following the Disney Fox deal, meaning that Kevin Feige could become more involved in their series over the coming years, actually serving as a producer like he used to on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Agent Carter, before they separated. Just what that would entail, we'll have to see. So yeah, that's it for 2019. I didn't include comics here, as that'd be pretty crazy to try and stuff into, but there is some cool stuff on the way on that front. I'm excited about the new Daredevil and Guardians issue 1s, the War of the Realms event, and for a Spider-Man story that'll take place in real time, showing Peter age over the last 6 decades, which is an amazing idea. As I've said many times, this is going to be a huge year for Marvel fans, and I have no doubt that there are a ton of surprises in store for us, things we never saw coming. 2018 was a pretty great year for Marvel overall. Excellent movies like Infinity War, Black Panther, Deadpool 2, and Into the Spider-Verse, some fantastic new seasons for Daredevil, Luke Cage, and to a lesser extent Iron Fist and Runaways too. Spider-Man PS4 was absolutely amazing, apparently. I haven't actually been able to play it, unfortunately. Great announcements regarding Disney Plus and the Fox deal, but it was also a hard year for fans. James Gunn was fired from Guardians Volume 3. Legion's second season was a bit disappointing. The Marvel Netflix massacre. Venom was just as Sony-fied as we expected it to be. And of course, worst of all, the world lost the legend himself, Stan Lee. But I think 2019 will prove to be one of Marvel's best years yet, leading into a bright future for the franchise. But what do you guys think? Which 2019 releases are you the most excited for? Let me know all your thoughts and theories in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.